Welcome back to Nets Republic. How y'all doing? That COVID is pushing me down the stairs. Y'all, I ain't gonna lie to you, but I'm at the point where I can stand, and I feel like that is a significant improvement from where I was yesterday. But that's neither here nor there. The Nuggets game. I ain't gonna lie to you. I turned it off halfway through the fourth quarter because we started getting steamrolled, and it just wasn't fun anymore. Like when Harry Giles checks into the game, that's when it's just not fun anymore. Like there's garbage time and then there's pure poo poo time, and I was just not having fun. Now the first three quarters are pretty entertaining, even though we were down 20 for a considerable amount of time. I was actually enjoying the game. Like in the discussion we had in yesterday's video, I believe the Nuggets are not so much the archetype, but I feel like they are they're the future set, if you will, of where it is I feel like the Brooklyn Nets can be. We need Ben Simmons for that, but I feel like that is literally what we are capable of being. When you look at Jokic, when you see the way he plays, Ben Simmons is literally a more athletic version of that. Now he might not be as tall and definitely not as fat, but that's basically what the Nets are capable of doing. And I feel like the Mavericks are trying to do that with Luka, but that's just not. I don't know if Luka is unselfish enough for that type of play style, or maybe Jason Kidd is just not the person to unlock that. I'm not really sure. Jason Kidd, is he still the coach of the Mavericks? I'm not really sure. But basically, what they do is they just move the ball a lot, and they've got a point forward to where you can't really double team anyone, and their point forward is so tall he can just give the ball to whoever's cutting. And while it might not be the prettiest style of basketball, it might not be the most entertaining, it gets the job done. Everyone is locked in on the defensive end, and everybody understands their assignment. They're completely bought into how it is that they need to play and such. And I feel like the Nets can maybe not aspire to be that, because I feel like that's disgusting, but I feel like the Nets can get to a point to where that will be us in the future. I thought Mikal kind of turned into the magical disappearing man again. I will give him a little bit of a pass because it was a back-to-back, and you got to give Denver the whole thing oh, it's the ball hush it, like I'll give him a little bit of that, sure, but so there's that aspect of it. It was a back-to-back, so Mikal was probably tired from the festivities of the night before, so I will give him that. I don't remember Cam Johnson doing much of anything, but I never really see him do anything, so we'll just pretend like he's not on a possible max. And I know how y'all feel when I say he's on a max, so we'll just ignore the fact that he's making all that money just for a quick second for the sake of the video. I thought Cam Thomas showed up. He did his job as he's been instructed to do, and as he does do from time to time. Couldn't hit a foul shot to save his life, but I thought he played really, really well given the circumstances that we were going up against the literal defending champions. I thought he showed out. I thought Claxton held his own against Mr. Jokic or whatever. Like, I thought, offensively he did his thing. DeAndre Jordan was like blocking the mess out of Claxton a lot, but as far as the 1v1 matchup with Claxton and Jokic, I thought Claxton did a really good job. I mean, about as good as you could, but I thought he did a fine job. I wasn't mad at that in the slightest. Spencer Dinwiddie could have been a little bit more aggressive, which I know sounds crazy coming from me. He was also getting fouled relentlessly, and I'm not really one to indulge in any of Spencer isms, but I thought he was getting fouled relentlessly, and the refs were just not calling it. There was a lot of really questionable calls, but much like in the Suns game where they had like three back-to-back-to-back 3-second calls on us. Like, the officiating these last two games have just been very strange. And speaking of those 3-second calls, there were multiple times where I'm just watching Jokic just camp in the paint, and he's not really guarding anyone. He's just shoving Claxton out the paint and just standing there. And I'm just trying to figure out why that's not a 3-second. Maybe the altitude was too much for the refs to blow the whistle or something. I'm not really quite sure. I'm just trying to figure out why that was not a 3-second call, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I don't know, y'all. I don't know. it was entertaining because it's like it's nice to see another team play how we play, but then at the same time it just made me long for Ben Simmons. And I I want it to be clear that when I'm saying things like we need Ben Simmons out there, it's not from the standpoint of I think he's any good. It's not from the standpoint of I'm giving any credence to Ben whatsoever. It's from the standpoint of how the team is constructed. You know what I mean? How the team is constructed. I feel like Ben is a integral piece to it. And as I've said on multiple occasions, it doesn't have to be Ben. It just has to be a Ben Simmons type beat. That's basically, maybe that's a better way to word this. We need a Ben Simmons type beat out there, right? We need a point forward in the worst way possible. I think once we have that, the situation will handle itself. When there were multiple times out there where it seems like we couldn't score, I feel like if you have a Ben Simmons type beat out there, the situation will handle itself. And again, that just leads more so towards the playmaking aspect that I feel like the team severely lacks. And I don't think Spencer Dinwiddie is capable of doing that. Well, not capable, but I don't think that's in his moveset. I don't think that's really in his arsenal. I think at his core, Spencer Dinwiddie is really a shooting guard. And I don't think that's a hot take either. So I just think the need for a playmaker is very apparent. And I think in terms of how the team is structured, a tall playmaker, specifically someone who is closer to the 7-foot range, is necessary for the team's success. And I think, again, it doesn't have to be Ben Simmons, just someone like him. Whoever that person is, I'm not sure, but, Ben is on the team. So if he's ever able to come back, sure. But it doesn't have to be Ben, is what I'm saying. We just need a tall playmaker. But that's neither here nor there. Standing up is a little bit more painful than I thought it was going to be, so I'm going to have to cut this video short. I ain't going to lie to you, I'm starting to get lightheaded. But let me know your thoughts on last night's game. I'm not upset that we lost in the slightest because it's the Nuggets, but I like the fact that we were able to compete and keep the game somewhat interesting until the end of the fourth quarter. But let me know your thoughts down below. I think I need to go sit down. I'll see y'all later. God. Good Lord. I thought the pandemic